So welcome to another episode of Liberty Creek. On this episode, we're talking tools, okay? What tools, the basic tools I use to build the cabin, okay? They were all my tools. I started getting prepared to build the cabin about a year in advance and started picking up tools from big box stores, anywhere I could find a tool that I think I would need that would become useful from watching YouTube videos and to help the build in the woods, okay? So I did want a lot of battery stuff, but this is the route I went. I went on YouTube, I was watching how they do it, and a circular saw, very important tool. Probably like one of the number one tools for myself when I was building the cabin, okay? Because I did not have a table saw up there at the time. I brought up my table saw at the very end of the build so I could rip the pieces for the trim and stuff. But at the beginning, I used a battery powered circular saw. When I first was doing some research, I was looking at the Worm Drive skill saw, and it was like rated one of the best. I like how it's laid out. So I went to the store and I looked at them, and they're a bit expensive, and they have the plug. So then I went home, I did some reviews, and I found the DeWalt, which is right here, the Flex Volt, the 60 volt max Flex Volt circular saw was a beast. It actually beat out the Worm Drive. This uses Worm Drive technology too. It beat out every saw, every competition. It rips right through the wood better than anything, even stuff that you plug in, okay? So I was impressed. I ran over to my local Home Depot because for some reason Lowe's doesn't carry any of the 60 volt flex tool line. So I went over to Home Depot. I can't remember, it was on sale. It was over $300, folks. I think right now they're going for about $400, $399, something like that. But the biggest kicker is I believe this tool, if you were able to buy it by itself, it would probably cost you $125, $150, because when it comes with the battery alone, if you try to buy this battery, it's a $200 battery, okay? And then you got the charger that comes with it. So the whole kit, the charger, charger, everything will run you over 300. 300 close to 4 in some places, okay? I had a discount. I got 10% discount on this. So it did bring down the price a little bit. But this was well worth the money. I used the hell out of it. I recommend a circular saw over any other circular saw. This is a bit heavy, but it is very powerful. And with combination of this, I used the Swanson, made by the Swanson Tool Company, one of the straight edges. It goes up to 8 feet, so you could set that up on your plywood and you could get a very straight cut with that, okay? I used those two tools in combination when I was cutting a lot of the big plywood pieces for the subfloor, and that worked very well together. I'll go ahead and post up a picture of it, and I would recommend also buying that if you want straight cuts. Okay, let's talk some squares, okay? There's all types of squares. There's framing squares, which I did not use this time that much. When I built my shed, I did use the framing square to cut out my bird mouths on my rafters. They got squares. I didn't use a square like this. I used speed squares. Pretty much through the whole thing I used speed squares, okay? You could get different speed squares. One of the very popular ones is also the Swanson. Came with a little book, showed you how to go ahead and do all different types of cool things with the speed square, okay? You could probably Google some videos, YouTube some videos on that, and you could do all types of magic stuff with this speed square. And it's good because it's, you know, it's heavy duty. When you buy the plastic ones, these will cost you about $5, that'll cost you about $10. I would go for the metal ones because sometimes you could crack them, you could bend them. But this one I've had for years now as well, and it's good. Okay, let's talk miter saws. okay? I bought a 7 1/4 sliding compound miter saw, okay? You have to have a miter saw. You just have to. It makes your life so much easier. There was times that I was using the circular saw to cut some 2x4s and stuff, but the miter saw, 100%, so much easier to use. I would highly recommend getting one. I got that small Cobalt one. I'll put a picture up there. And at the time, it was only like $99. I remember it might have been a couple bucks less actually, but I got $99. I got 10% off on that, and I brought that up there. It made a ton of cuts for me. I did all the framing of the floor, everything out of there, and then it died. It cut out on me. Brought it back to the store, and this is probably about 4 months after owning it. Brought it back to the store. I called first. They said go ahead, bring it back. It's not repairable. I brought it back, and they replaced it on the spot for me. I just put it in a cart from my truck, brought it in, explained what happened. I told them I called, and I told them basically what they said. They verified it. I don't know what they do. And a guy brought a brand new one up, and I was out. And so far, it has not failed me again. It's been working, and you know, customer service was great with the company, and I had no issues returning it. You know, get that saw because it didn't break the budget. It was quick, it was easy, it is light, okay? Now let's talk about my miter saw that I own at my house. I have a 12-inch Hitachi miter saw. The thing is a beast. It's not a slider, but it's got a bigger blade. But it doesn't matter because my smaller Cobalt cut wider pieces, and I needed that, okay? So I would recommend, especially if you're just starting off, stay away from the big miter saws. Unless you get a slider and you're muscle man, you want to, you know, get the stand for another $100, $200, and you drag it all around. But if you're just doing a one-shot deal and you're not in the trade, get something small. The Hitachi was heavy. It is a very heavy saw. I own 2 of them. When I first got into woodworking, I wanted a big saw. They said Hitachi brand is one of the best brands. So it went on sale. It was always on sale back then on Lowe's. It was $300, $400 I seen the saw before running for, and they always drop it to $199. I've seen it on sale for the last about 9 years. It goes to $199 and stay there for 3 months, and they jack it back up to $300 or $300 plus. So wait for the deal. You could grab it. I would not recommend that saw. I actually broke that saw. It's made out of like white metal, the base. And when I was adjusting to do a cut, I broke where the rear pin threads in, and it's like white metal. The threads just broke right off. I called the company, the worst customer service, okay? I called the company several times. They set up a destination for, because it's still on warranty, that I could drop off the saw. I brought it over to this tool company local to me, dropped it off. They said, okay, no problem. I explained everything. They said, okay. They gave me a number, and they had it for like a month. I called them up. I said, what's going on? They said, we're not going to be able to fix it. So I'm like, what do you mean? Just need a new base, get one from the company. But long story short, I go pick it up. It's in 1,000 pieces. They said they are not allowed to reassemble it to the point that it was in, which was 100% assembled, because it's too dangerous to saw. They can't give it back to me in the shape that I gave it to them. So now I'm totally out of a saw. They said because the damage was probably me from moving it and hitting the wall or something and snapped the cheap white metal. So I had to go ahead and purchase a new one, but I was able to fix the threads myself, and I used that to chop firewood. But I will never buy a Hitachi saw again, just because I learned my lesson. It's way too heavy. Any of those big saws, it doesn't have to be a Hitachi. Do not buy those big 12-inch blade saws unless you're in the trade and you do it all the time. It's just too big, too heavy, and it's not worth it. I did not use it once during my build, and I have 2 of them. Let's move on. All right, I know the video jumps around because I'm getting stuff in between. Let's talk air guns, okay? So Hitachi. Hitachi, when I went ahead, I probably bought this about 6 months before I started the build. I caught it on sale. It probably cost me, I don't know, I would say about $160. And right now on Lowe's, I just checked, it's about $200. But Hitachi changed their name to Metibo, okay? It's strange how they went about doing that, because Hitachi has the best air nailers. Absolutely. I did a ton of research before I bought this, and everyone praises their name. It is a great, great gun. I've never had any issues with it, knock on wood. But Hitachi bought the German company Metibo, and for some reason, I would have never done this, but I'm not a marketing genius. They own 80%. I mean, they run the field of air guns. 80% is all Hitachi. Okay, they own that section of the air gun tools. Okay, so you buy a company, a German company, and then you change your name to that German company, but you bought that company. I'm not sure why you would want to change your name that owns 80% of the field in air guns. It's confusing to me, but whatever. So this is the Hitachi framer. It's corded. It's the 21 degree 3.5 gauge nailer. Okay, this is my frame nailer. I did all the frame nailing, and worked like a charm. Now, great gun. Great gun. I would recommend that gun to go with. Never had any issues. Make sure you wear some eye protection, because when you're shooting that, the nails are held together by these little pieces of plastic. So when you shoot, the plastic does come out. It could hit you in your eye. That's the only thing about that gun. You'll get a little blast back from little pieces of plastic. They don't hurt, but wear eye protection, okay? Talking about nailers, okay? At the end of my build, I started to have to put up the pine and a lot of finish nailing. So I took my 15 gauge nailer out and started to put up the pine. And I'll give you this. This is Delta Alpha 250 Charlie. Okay, it's a 15 gauge nailer. I picked this up. I always had my eyes open. I needed a 15 gauge nailer. I knew I was going to get to the trim one day, and this had a lot of Gorilla Glue all over it. Okay, so whatever they were doing, they got it all over. I cleaned it up the best I can. I bought it from a pawn shop for $40. Okay, not a bad price at all. I've had this. Actually, I've had this before I even was going to do the build. I had this for quite a while. I shot many nails out of it, and then what usually happens with all nailers, actually it's back now, but the head, the hammer head, won't extract back. Okay, so once that happened, I would have to undo the air supply. It would go back in, and I could get a nail off. Okay, and I looked for a rebuild online. There was a guy that found them, and it just looked way too much work to do. So I said, you know, you're dealing with stuff like this, it could be dangerous. Let me just go grab another one, since I had such good luck with this one that has seen a lot of use. I picked up another one. It comes in a better case now, but it's the same model, okay? And again, I hung some stuff up. No issues at all. This thing's great. This will last me beyond the build, and probably for a good another 20 years, because I won't be shooting that many nails anymore unless I start building more and more. All right, I'm not sure how much this cost. I believe it was like in the $160 range. I got my 10% off, and would recommend this. Okay. All right, we're gonna stay with the nailers. This is my little stapler. Okay. I had a Harbor Freight 3-in-1. I actually still have it. I've had that for 9 years, 8 years, and that cost about $15 when I bought it with a coupon from Harbor Freight. And I was up there and I started hanging the insulation, and I'm knocking out some staples with it, and the trigger went on me, and I would have to, fidget with it. I got it going. So I picked up an Arrow PT50. This thing works 100 times better than the Harbor Freight. Even though nothing wrong with the Harbor Freight, this one it's a lot more quality. But this is just a stapler, okay? The other one was a nailer as well. So this is just a stapler. It's lighter. It's just a lot nicer, okay? So I would recommend this if you have something like this. Now we're talking about staplers, so I brought this out too. It's like magic, just pops in my hand. Okay. I don't even know who makes this. This is made by Arrow too. This is the Arrow T50 stapler. And when I hung up my Tyvek, this was so much easier. Okay. Even some of the I use this on the weather stripping in some parts. And it's just like a hammer. You load it up with the staples, you bring it down, it puts the staple in. Sometimes you don't hit it right, it doesn't bring it in, you flip it around, you tap it in. But this thing is worth its money. There's cheaper ones. This is supposed to be the #1 contractor one. I'm sure cheaper ones will work just fine as well. But putting up your Tyvek, unless you're got those nails with the big round, I had some of those. This works so much better, okay? And the Tyvek's still up, and it's been 6 months. All right, it's been through many storms. Nails, if the staples came out, I'll come back, hit them up one more time. Hopefully I'll get siding on the cabin soon. All right, so staying on topic, we're still talking about air guns. I got a pin nailer. Only used it once, worked great. I glued the sides of the cabinets on. The ends to cap them, and I glued them on, and I just put a couple pin nails in just to keep it there while the glue set and dried. And this thing works great. I think you could pick this up for like $10 at Harbor Freight, and especially you only use it once in a while. Things like this, you don't spend the big bucks. You just grab it from Harbor Freight. All right, still talking about tools that need a compressor. Got this little bad boy here. And I can't not tell you how happy I am. I picked this up years ago. This is a HDX brand, Home Depot's brand. This is a Home Depot brand, and basically it's a hammer, and you hook your air hose up. And when I was putting this came in so handy with the hangers. You wouldn't believe how handy this came in. You put those hangers up, and your arms start getting tired after a while. You just come in, this will take care of it. It drives it so nicely in. And if you're in a tight spot, this is where you definitely want one of these. Now these range from anywhere from $40 to $80. I picked this up on sale. I saw it 15 bucks at the Home Depot probably about 8 years back. And I said, I don't think I'll ever need it. And I got my $15 out of it and then some. Staying on topic, the last air gun I'll show you, this nailer here is a roof nailer. Now I always wanted one of these. I put the roof on my shed, and what a pain to be up there tacking in each nail by hand. So I went ahead, I think I got this on sale for about 160 bucks. You could pick one up now for, I saw today, this particular model is $200, okay? I never got a chance to use it because cutting holes. If you don't have a Sawzall, go get one. This could prune trees, this could do anything, okay? This is great. This is what I cut my holes with. Also, you could like flush cut 2x4. So, this thing, you could do so much with it. I bought this particular one from a friend of a friend. He had a whole bunch of tools. He had extras over the years, or he came into them. I don't know who, what, where, when. But I bought this, a hammer drill, a drill, a right angle drill, a grinder, 3 batteries. But the problem is, when I bought this stuff here, it's all the XRP,
and they take these old-fashioned, what are the 18 volts. Now, as you can see, it came with 3 of them, and none of them worked. One gave me a little juice for like 5 minutes. So I went on Amazon and I bought some of these. Tell you the truth, folks, these things work great. So I only have a couple tools that take this particular battery, the 18 volt, and it works great. But what I did go and do is they sell these little like conversion or compatibility for the 20 volt. And you can clip this on, and now it will accept a 20 volt battery. 20 volt battery gives it a little bit more power too. Put that on there, it works fantastic. Now, what I did learn, I bought the kit, came with 2 batteries, and it came with this little piece. This piece is so difficult to remove. Well, no, it's tough to remove. But Sawzall have to have one. Has all different blades you can use. Metal, wood with nails in it, short blades, long blades, whatever you need. Cut PVC, you could do anything with this thing. You have to get one. I used it mainly on the cabin build to cut the hole in my roof. I think that's one of the main things I could think of. Just cut the hole in the roof. Now, talk about cutting holes. Let's go to jigsaws. This particular jigsaw, right now you go on Amazon, Hitachi, they don't make them like this no more. Now they say Metibo. I just looked on Amazon. You can still get this particular one. It's $149 right now on Amazon, okay? And that's a tool only, okay? No battery. Now, one thing before they became Metibo that I noticed, right before they did the name change, Hitachi, Lowe's started just basically giving this stuff away. And there was always good deals on the Hitachi, always. Every 3 months you go in there, you can find some good deals. This, I was walking through and I have a DeWalt wired jigsaw, but I wanted a cordless, a battery power. So when I was walking through, I saw this, okay? I'll post it up right here. That's a deal. When I saw that, I said, I want that. So there was no more left. I went up front, talked to the guy, told him I want the one on display. Guy said you can't have the one on display. We went back and forth. I called corporate, I went back the next day and it was waiting for me. And I got it, okay? This I have used many, many times. This is what I cut out all my electrical outlets out of the pine with. I've used it so much. It's a great tool, especially being wireless. It's real good. It's a great find. That's why you always got to be looking. But like I said, when this was Hitachi, you could go into the store and I would find deals all the time. The batteries for this, 20 bucks. Not bad. Now they don't sell them anymore. Now the batteries that they sell for the Metibo are $40 a clip. They're 3.0 or whatever. I don't know the biggest difference in them. But the batteries for, they don't sell the 2.0. I'll show you. The 18 volt. This is a $20 battery. Now the ones that I see look the same, but they're $40 battery, and they say 3.0 on the side. So good thing I got enough when I had the opportunity. But a jigsaw is a must. I was just having a debate on this. What is the name of this tool? Okay. I always call this a oscillating tool. I have a 2 or 3 corded one. I got the work one, cost me about 40 bucks. It was on sale, works great. I got the one from I think Harbor Freight, the Chicago one. That cost me like, I don't know, 12 bucks or something. They both work perfectly. I wanted a wireless one. And this thing here is very powerful. and it gets the job done. Now, many people call it a multi-tool. I don't know. I just never did. It's an oscillating tool. A multi-tool to me is this is a multi-tool. We call them Gerbers or Leathermans, but this is what I always thought about when people say you got a multi-tool. I think of that right there. That's a multi-tool. I may be wrong, but I've been calling it a multi-tool for years. And Leatherman or Gerber make like the best. That's a multi-tool. The guy I bought this from, he sold me a whole bunch of tools. Well, he also sold me a grinder. The grinder worked beautifully. One day I was up, I had to cut my spare tire down because I lost the lug that lowers it, and it was all rusted. I got in there, I was cutting it down, and when the tire let go, I had something to hold it, to catch it, and it caught the corner and bounced and hit the grinder out of my hand, and it broke in 2 pieces. I tried to fix it, didn't work. It was an older model of the DeWalt grinder, but this is the newer brushless model. And once you have the power of batteries with one of these things, you do not want to ever go back having the wire. I have a couple. I have one. The Chicago Harbor Freight grinder down there, just in case wired. But this here, I've used this to cut the countertops. This thing cut the countertops with no problem at all. I cut the roofing, the metal roofing. I was cutting like 4 sheets at a time, the length. It definitely came in very handy. I think this is just over $100, okay? A tool by itself, of course. They don't ever give tools and batteries anymore like they used to back in the day. Talk about batteries. As I said, this one right here will cost you probably close to $200 brand new, okay? Because it's the 9.0 that came with the saw. This one right here will cost you about $150 brand new. I bought this one from eBay for about $70, okay? What's good about these things is they last forever. So if you want to stick this on your drill, you could go all day. You stick some of these little ones on and you're using the drill a lot, it'll cut out 10 minutes on you. This will cut out in 45 minutes, hour. It really uses a lot. Then you got stuff like this. This is another knockoff. Instead of paying $60 or $80 for DeWalt, you get this knockoff right here for like $20. It works fine. It works fine. 20 volt. I have never had an issue with it. It's always there in the bag. I throw it on if I run out of other batteries, okay? I'll probably get a couple more of these, but I do have quite a few batteries, you know, because you need them. You need batteries, and they are very expensive. I probably have about 6 DeWalt batteries with the big ones. I got 2 of the big ones. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. I got 7 DeWalts, and I have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 Hitachi. Okay, and you need them. So one day I went through them all, but I bring my chargers up with me, hook them into the generator, and charge it up. See this? Bought it for $99. Prices are ridiculous. Is this the one? Sorry. Oh, here we go. $2.99. Bought it for $1.99. Goes on sale. I'm always here, always looking for deals. I didn't pay $3.19. I bought mine for about, I think it was on sale for $2.15. So you gotta keep watching. Porter cable. I got my Ryobi for 110. They want 169. They just changed brand names for vices and clamps again. When they changed last time, I came here and cleaned up. Now you gotta catch it in time because they just wipe out the other inventory sell for nothing. Always looking for deals. Always look for deals. Gotta look for yellow tags. Yellow tags. These things are forever expensive. Blades are always expensive here. I don't see no deals. This used to be my favorite aisle right here. Boom. I don't know what happened to now the Matibo. They used to have the best deals. Their Sawzall, when they were changing, I guess, names, was down to $20. Their drills, you could get a good kit for $80. Now look, they're ridiculously priced. I don't know what happened, but they changed their name and they went up 100% in price. Like, look at this, $179, 36 volt. Yeah, I could never buy a drill for that much money. Yeah, there's mine. $199 here. Now I wanted to get a battery powered nailer. They're ridiculous in prices. Ridiculous. They want for their 15 gauge and it's not battery. Anyway, it's ridiculous. You're talking $339, $400 for a wireless nailer.
Thanks for hanging in there and watching the whole thing, folks. Now that was a long one, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a part 2 out for the rest of the tools that I used to build my cabin. I've been having some trouble with my cameras, so I will get that out to you as soon as possible. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up for the video. I would appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.